So tell me, Mr. Scoundrel Fried, how does it feel to be able to call 911 and lie about someone and have the police come and, give them the business?
Feels pretty good, I tell you. In all my years, I always wanted to get back at one of them. It feels good. Finally got one. Worked the way it should have, yeah.
Oh, so, he said you lied, and all that. So how does that work right there, I mean, you had no proof for that. So,
Well, it doesn't matter, okay? Because a bunch of them do it all the time. And even if it wasn't him, it is what it is. That's the way it is.
Well, from his perspective, do you think that the accusation that not wanting to leave the property could pose a threat to him, as if, he would have to be removed by force from the police that show up? I mean, what about his safety and record and all that with that concern? Does that come to light? Do you have any perspective on that to share with us?
Well, listen, like I said, these guys come around here and they do it all the time. Okay? So, it is what it is. Nothing happened. So, what do you want me to do?
Okay, and one more thing. He said that, the 911 call was your voice, and, we found out it was you after you said it wasn't during the interaction. We know about that, and that was in front of the policeman. So, also, it says in the 911 call that he's been told multiple times and he keeps coming back. So, don't you think that would set up a profile of someone that would, offend the, or not listen to orders, or requests and not, stay away from where they're told not to be? It sounds like someone is, ignoring orders and coming back against the will and, and coupled with not wanting to leave. Don't you think that poses a threat, being that it describes a profile of someone that, is coming onto the property after not being told and they're not wanting to leave? Sounds like they're kind of, going to be a problem. I mean, don't you feel that their safety, if that wasn't the case, that, which there are video and evidence and all things. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them. Well,
it doesn't matter. He's crazy. He just rattles off stuff, and he's got his own perspective. But, like I said, these guys come here, and I've seen him here before. He was here before.
Okay, well, it's another perspective. He says that he was never told before, and he never met you guys before, and the time that he did talk to the police was about 10 p.m. on a Friday, I think he said it was, and then everybody else was there, too, and they just informed him that there's no camping, and he moved immediately, so... And he said you didn't even know about that, and he wasn't trying to camp there either. So, for you to say that he kept coming back, and he also says that he showed up early a bunch of times, 5 and 6 a.m. when he came into town, and that's why he was parked at different spots, and he was looking in the Durham's window with his binoculars. He didn't want to go in there or go close to it because nobody was there, but that's his time, and it was daylight. So he feels he got, accused for camping there because you didn't know about that too. And the fact that you said you had pictures and you didn't have pictures, and the other guy said you had pictures, all this stuff, it kind of makes a profile, wouldn't you think?
Well, I can say whatever I want there. Like I told him, I could have it banned for 20 years and not come back. Okay? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I lied. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's the way it is.
Well, okay, I guess that means in a society level that you're better than him. And the fact that it was lies and he could disprove the lies, and you did call 911 and say the lies and the police acted on it, doesn't that constitute as a law being broken? Because in, statutes and code of law, when people want to press them, maybe if Daniel called 911 and lied about you, they would have found out the lie, and then they would have been like, okay, they would have charged Daniel with the misdemeanor. So, do you think it's fair that the probability of him getting charged is like really high for the same thing that you did, and that you don't have to suffer any consequences at all, and he actually lost time and money in all these circumstances? Do you not think that that could be a perspective?
Well, listen, he chose to live his life the way he wants. And if he wants to look like that, and if he wants to operate like that, well, that's what it is. Because he's operating in the ranges that a criminal exists on. So therefore, just with that alone, we can assume that something ain't right. And I'd rather protect the mall and the people in it by telling him to get out of there. And that's the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Well, Mr. Soul Fried, I guess this concludes our little partial interview here. Oh, by the way, did you have any association with that guy? He claims that, he got a picture of him driving away and wrote it all down at the time and everything, but he claims a Santa Claus, Uncle Jesse looking guy came up and dropped his drawers in front of him while he was working on the back of his Winnebago, getting his paint stuff, and dropped his drawers and said, "Oh, this looks like a nice place to take a piss." And then, started peed right there. I mean, Daniel didn't have a scissor in his hand, but, was that your friend?